Today's interview on the Wildcats Network is only possible through the support of Team Steve Lamani at Realty One Group. Team Steve Lamani at Realty One Group offers unparalleled knowledge of the Westmoreland real estate market. Whether you're a first-time buyer or a seasoned seller, Steve Lamani at Realty One Group is here to guide you every step of the way. Give the team a call at 724-972-1543. or via email at steve@teamlamani.com. Thank you, Steve Lamani, for your generous support of the Wildcats Network.
Now joined by Greater Latrobe head coach Brad Wetzel ahead of their game tonight against the Penn Trafford Warriors. And coach, you guys had a nice bounce-back game against Laurel Highlands on Friday after your loss against Uniontown. What do you take away from the bounce-back win and the resilience from your guys against the Mustangs?
Well, you said the word, Rich. I mean, resilient. It's something these guys have been all year. Preseason stuff came out. Anybody expected to be, us to be at the top of the section, second place or anything else. Our name wasn't really mentioned by anybody. So that resilience has been shown throughout. So going to Uniontown and dropping one to what's going to end up, I think, being the best team in best record in our section is not a, we just wash our face and hands, get up in the morning and get back at it. Our goals are way ahead of us. And so we're just trying to make sure that we find our best basketball at the right time.
And in that game against the Mustangs, you had 8 players score, get on the score sheet. When in a good chunk of your games this year, it's been primarily the starters that have done the majority of scoring. What's the value of not just having the minutes for players like Sawyer, Dom, Brady, and Mikey Monios, but whenever they're able to get on the scoreboard, what's the value of those players and the minutes that they provide in that aspect?
Well, there's all kinds of ways that players can help us, right? We talk about that all the time. If you're coming in and getting stops, if you're keeping the ball facilitated on offense, keeping it rolling without turning it over, or you're getting rebounds, and you talk about Dom. Dom put the ball in the hole the other night, or some of his biggest asset to us is when he rebounds well. So everybody does something different. But to your point directly, Rich, when they score points, that sure does help.
One other note to point out about Friday's win at Laurel Highlands is it clinched a playoff spot for you guys for the first time since the 2021 season. First off, congratulations on getting back to the playoffs. But what will be the approach for the remainder of the season? I know you still got 4 games left. So how will you kind of tread those waters in a sense over the next 4 games?
Yeah, I think our goals are the same. We're trying to find our best basketball at the right time. I mean, obviously right now, I think we're going against what I feel is, this team can beat anybody. Penn Trafford's dangerous. They took Baldwin to the wire. They scored 85 points on Uniontown. They're just so explosive offensively. And we went up there and we fought really hard to eke out a 53-50 win. So it's going to be a battle. But I still think, we're trying to find our groove and our stride, get everybody healthy at the right time. Not a whole lot changes, Rich, but thank you. I mean, it's nice to get back to the playoffs, but not a whole lot changes as far as how we approach anything. We're trying to do our darndest to come out with the win, just like we have at game 1. Obviously, if we can get that against PT, I think we pretty much have ourselves locked in at a 2 spot, I think, if we can get this one Tuesday. And that's important, too, because when it comes to ultimate seeding, you certainly don't want to be at the bottom of the section.
And over the course of the past month, in order to help clinch you guys a playoff spot, it seems like Ian DeSerb has really taken a big step with his production, both scoring and rebounding. He's kind of become that secondary scorer to help take the pressure off of Max in a sense. What can you say about the progression from Ian? I know we've talked about his progression from a year ago to now, but do you feel like he's taken a step this year in playing more elevated minutes and in a more elevated role?
Yeah, I think he's taken more than one step. I think he's taken lots of steps. I think he's been a huge factor. You talk about complimenting Max's scoring. I think it's kind of neat how, certain guys in certain games find their niche. I think Dom had 13 at halftime against Gateway. Andy Tatch came up big with some baskets at LH. Max is very consistent, but he has big halves and quiet halves scoring. So like you said, anytime, Ian's kind of been pretty Mr. Constant when he's in there not in foul trouble. I think we can keep him out of the foul trouble. It's important to us to get him on score sheet, no doubt about it.
You touched on it earlier, but tonight you guys face off against Penn Trafford for the second to last home game of the season, in the regular season, that is. Right now, PT is in a battle for one of potential 2 playoff spots remaining in your section. So what would be key in order to keep the winning ways going while also maybe fighting off some of that desperation that PT may show?
Well, I think you hit it in the head. I think they're desperate. They're very good. They're way better than their record says. Yeah, the nice thing is I don't think we have to convince our kids that. Our kids know it. PT always seems to find another elevated gear for us, and so we know it's just going to be a bear. Come with your hard hat on, because it's going to be time to go to work, play better than we did up at their place. That's for sure. We're not going to come away with the win. But the nice thing, like I said, Rich, these guys know it. Like they understand, what we've got to do. And I think a lot of it's going to be we're going to have to outwork these guys.
Coach, as always, thank you and best of luck against Penn Trafford.
Thanks a lot, Rich.